Slim going a new life.
I want to say rest in peace, Soulja Slim. You know, man, that went through a whole lot, bro. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about thugging, drugging, everything.
100, 250 out there who Slim was gonna save, you know what I'm saying?
No, he owned this city. Regardless of what you hear, Cash Money, No Limit, this was his shit. This is him. All these people you see out here is him. Ain't no like that.
Cut those Soulja Slim, nigga, like that. Cut those niggas, nigga. It's like that. Rest in peace, nigga. It's real.
Soulja, New Orleans Tupac here, got killed the same, 25, you know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace, Soulja Slim. You know we all got love for you.
I said Soulja went to work, he left his Tues at home. I said, he coming right back. Soulja left his Tues, went to work, he coming back. I said, he coming back. Soulja went to work, he left his Tues at home. I said, he coming back.
Y'all liable to respect me at any time. You understand? I will pop up at any time. You understand?
We here. The most wise. You know, in hip hop, a lot of times we don't pay homage to our fallen soldiers, to the pioneers that come before us. You know, I'm from New York, but you know, hip hop is global and most importantly national. And a lot of this culture that we partake in today come from a lot of legends who was lost yesterday. And I never want to forget the soldiers in this war. Rap is the most dangerous job in the world. And unfortunately, everybody get paid. But the rappers, the only people getting slayed is the rappers. So I want to start this musical journey taking out to Magnolia Projects with Magnolia Shorty, the queen of bounce, the birthplace of the twerk, the birthplace of twerking. This is 1995. Foundational Black Americans captured the sound in Louisiana. And unfortunately, two of our greatest musicians met their demise. Magnolia Slim, Magnolia Shawty, aka Soulja Slim, and the queen of bounce, Magnolia Shorty. But shout out to Cash Money Records, Giggity, Gangsta, Slim, Birdman. We finna do this one for y'all, man. Magnolia, home of the soldiers. Yeah. You are now in tune with the most wise.
1995, we used to ride that stick. Last 1996, you got a monkey on that dick.
You are now in tune.
Monkey on that dick. Ooh, monkey
with the true and living.
Monkey on that dick. Ooh, monkey on that dick.
We back with another one for y'all.
Ooh, monkey on that dick. Monkey on that dick.
We gonna take out to the hip hop origins.
Monkey on that dick. Monkey on that dick.
Where drill culture come from? Share where that twerking culture come from? Hey, rest in peace, Magnolia Shorty. Hey, this before this around that Lil' Kim time. Shout out to the Notorious B1, the whole Midwest.
a monkey
The
on
whole
the dick.
down south.
Monkey on the dick.
The
Monkey
Bay.
on the dick.
The
Ooh,
West
monkey
Coast.
on the dick. Monkey on the dick. Ooh,
The FBA
monkey on the
Nation.
dick. Monkey on the dick.
Sovereign way.
Monkey on the dick. Monkey on the dick. Ooh, monkey on the dick. Monkey on the dick. Ooh, monkey on the dick. Monkey on the dick. Ooh, monkey on the dick. Monkey on the dick. Ooh, monkey on the dick. Monkey on the dick. Like I say, he wanna fuck it, Soulja, fuck ya. You better believe we just like them niggas, we gon' duck ya. I'll go pull up, trying to see where we at. My girls in the 13, my other ones in the STP. I know them niggas think we baby riding next dick. I told them it's 1996, I got a monkey on that dick. So monkey on that dick, monkey on that dick. Ooh, monkey on that dick, monkey on that dick.
The most wise in Flint, Michigan on Saturday. Songs like this, I'ma play. We gon' have fun.
In 1995, we used to take it in the cake. Now here's 96, you gotta take it from the bank. So take it from the bank, take it from the bank. Ooh, take it from the bank, take it from the bank. Ooh, take it from the bank, take it from the bank. Ooh, take it from the bank, take it from the bank. In 1995, we used to monkey on that stick. Now here's 96, you gotta dodge that dick.
Yeah, so you already know that was Magnolia, Shorty, R.I.P. to a legend. You know, some people like to call her the queen of bounce music and all that, but you know, I would like to call her the founder of twerking. You know, the founder of the twerk committee. You know, R.I.P. Magnolia, Shawty. She signed the deal with Cash Money at 12 years old. She was introduced by the great Magnolia Slim, Soulja Slim, you know? The Magnolia staying up. And I really wanted to get into a lot of this history because, you know, I see a lot of these other cultures and nationalities, Caribbean cultures, you know, Hispanic nationalities, whatever the case may be, even Aboriginal, Indigenous, trying to, it's like a rise in a lot of music documentaries and a lot of, like, you know, where does stuff originate from, because a lot of people just starting to get into, you know, deep into music. So I think like these music documentaries is more like people digging in the crates, you know, right? Like, so I used to dig in the crates for old records to sample and make beats from, which gave me this deep history of music. And now with streaming, you know, you have this thousands and thousands and maybe even millions of songs at your fingertips, and you don't even know of all this great work that you have, you know, at your disposal. You know, so I really want to highlight a lot of our legends. You know, that's my goal with this series and stuff like that, you know. And we're going to start by highlighting the Magnolia, home of the Soulja, you know, New Orleans, you know, with the Creole and a lot of the Creole culture that was left over from a lot of like the Haitians and a lot of the French. So I think you know, I think it's a lot we can learn. You know, I think it's a lot we can learn. But let's get into Magnolia Shorty. You know, like I said, she was brought to Cash Money at the age of 12. You know, and I believe by the time she was like 15, 16 or something like that, she had her first hit with Monkey on the Stick, you know, the song I just played. And you know, that was Cash Money Records. You know, Manny Fresh actually produced that beat, you know, the Monkey on the Stick beat. You know, a great instrumental, you know, bounce music, as y'all know, originates in Louisiana. Listen, I'm a New York nigga just giving y'all this history, man, so you know, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, it's all facts and all that, don't get it twisted, but you know, at the same notion, just understand how I'm covering these topics, you know. But anyway, let's get into Soulja Slim. You know, Soulja Slim, Soulja Slim, born James Tapp Jr., September 9th, 1977 in New Orleans. To parents James and Linda Tapp, was raised in Magnolia Projects. You know, the Magnolia, officially named CJ Pete Public Housing Development, was one of the housing projects in New Orleans. As part of the ongoing redevelopment, the area has been renamed Harmony Oaks. The project was among the largest, housing approximately 2,100 people. It is also home to numerous hip-hop artists. It has been referred to as Magnolia, home of the Soulja. Yeah. Located in the uptown part of New Orleans. So you know when Birdman talking about uptown, you know, also known as Central City. It was bounded by Louisiana Avenue, South Claiborne Avenue, LaSalle Street, and Washington Avenues. The Magnolia projects are located within the 11th and 12th wards of New Orleans. So you know when Lil ain't talking 11 ward, 12 ward, you know I'm talking about Shawty. You know, in New York, we kind of can't really comprehend that. These wards, and, you know, like in Atlanta, they got the 6 zone and all that, zone 6 and all that, zone 3 where freaking Young Thug is from, free Young Thug, free Gunna, you know, zone 6 where Gucci Man is from. Once upon a time was free Gucci Man, you know, the cycle repeats itself, you know, it's the hamster wheel. That's why I got into comics, and nigga, I seen that shit. At least comical writers don't get arrested. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the Magnolia Projects, located on 11th and 12th wards of New Orleans, at its height, the Magnolia Projects had 1,403 units. Soulja Slim attended Cohen Senior High School before dropping out of school in 11th grade. Then he began selling drugs and started to form an addiction to heroin and cocaine. You know, by 1993, he was rapping as Magnolia Slim in venues and block parties. And the projects, his first recording, however, would be on Parkway Pumpin', an independent label run by legendary MC KLC, and also featuring 39 Posse, Fiend, Mac, Mystical Mike, later known as Mr. Servon, and The Hound. Soulja Slim's solo debut was Soulja for Life, released in 1994 by Parkway Pumpin' and Hype Enough Records. The album did well, selling 90,000 units independently in 1995. He released another solo 4-song EP called The Dark Side. My guy was really out here doing his thing, man, for real. But anyway, the Magnolia Projects is also the most significant and most divine portion of Louisiana, being the birthplace of so many of hip-hop's most notable rap acts, like, you know, like the main topic and person of this little, I guess, biography of hip-hop, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Soulja Slim, Magnolia Slim, you know what I'm talking about? The motherfucking, the reason why niggas put the motherfucking, you know, the cross in between their eyebrows, you know what I'm talking about? You know, that's like the Teardrop Super Saiyan level 4. If you really, you know what I'm saying, if you know, you know. But other other artists come from this divine projects known as Magnolia, you know, such as Juvenile, you know, my personal hip hop Yahweh J Electronica, you know, and even Cash Money Cirque and Magnolia Shorty would come from Magnolia Projects. Now, while Magnolia Projects was rising to fame, also was the now demolished Calio. You know what I'm talking about? Now, a lot of y'all probably don't know about Calio, you know, and it's not Calio as in C-L-A-I-O. It's Calliope, C-L-A-I-O-P-E. Now, Calliope Projects, you know, which is no longer, it was demolished, but you know, I believe like the official name for it is BW Copper Public Housing. Now the Calio, to the Calio. Now that comes from a real, you know, great J Electronica song and all that. But the Calio Projects was where, you know, the other New Orleans legends, you know, in the early 90s was from. You feel me? And y'all all know who those people are. Motherfucking Master P, C Murder, Silk the Shocker. The Mystical might even be from there too. I'm not sure. I think he used to visit there and stuff like that. But Mystical just got caught up in a crazy situation. I think he got like a rape charge or something like that. Oh, I fucking can't even say that shit. No, I might have to cut that out. Can't say that on YouTube. But yeah, he got, you know, he got those chomo type of charges, man. I don't know. I'm trying to listen, man. This ain't got rape, man. He got sexual assault and all that shit. I don't know. I can't get around the shit, man. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I don't go fuck my shit up. Fuck it, man. It is what it is. You gotta be honest, man. Hopefully the jazz offset it. You know? Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, man, this nigga Mystical out here tripping, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. There's way too much coochie out here for you to be, you know, trying to take it from females and all that, man. Like, you know, it ain't even like, it ain't never that deep, bro. Like, y'all niggas got problems, my nigga. Pussy is never that deep, bro. Like, I'd rather you go and take money before you go and take some pussy. Like, what the fuck, nigga? Like, I'd rather you go rob a bank, you know what I'm saying, than you rob a chick for some coochie. Like, nigga, what? Like, you about to do 10, 15 years in jail, get beat up this whole 9, you know what I'm saying? For fucking a 5-second orgasm, nigga. That's like the most suckerish shit in the whole world. Like, the fact that people do a lot for 5 seconds of pleasure also speaks to a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Like a whole different problem too. But you know, not everybody see the bigger picture. But fortunately for us, Master P from the Calio did, and he starts No Limit Records, you know, and a lot of y'all may know, may not know, but Master P used to actually work in a mom and pop record shop. And, you know, word on the street is that he was actually, you know, doctoring the numbers. You know, so, you know, a lot of those record sales from back in the days, you know, a lot of those No Limit record sales is kind of questionable. But nevertheless, you know, as people still ate, you know, I heard that, you know, a lot of them No Limit soldiers was eating and stuff like that. You know, unfortunately, C Murder got caught up in a situation, you know, that he's still fighting to this day, you know, free C Murder. And, you know, Master P will go on to sign Soulja Slim, you know, and while Soulja Slim was signed to Master P, there was another dude by the name of Baby Gangsta, aka BG, who was signed to Cash Money Records. Now, Baby Gangsta, aka BG, was also friends with Soulja Slim, very close friends, and you know, they will both, you know, fuck around together, get high and shit like that. You know, they was on that dog food, unfortunately, you know, down south, you know, deep in the south and all that. You know, it's a different world out there, man. You feel me? Like, when it ain't much to do, you know, they say idle time is the devil's playground. You feel me? Like, so if you just sitting around in the country and all that, and you just with your homeboys, y'all kicking the same shit, you know, you got nice whips and shit, but it ain't much to do. You gonna get high, you gonna experiment with drugs and shit like that. And I think that's why, you know, a lot of the Midwest and down South's, you know, drug culture is a little bit different. Like, even in the West, you know, the drug culture is different out there, right? Like, you know, cocaine and Molly and Adderall and perks, you know, shit like that. That shit is lit out there in the West because that's a party town, right? You know, it's all about partying and prostitution, right? You know, Figueroa, shout out to Figueroa and Blade. You know, so weed is kind of like a cigarette out there, you know. When you doing so much uppers, I think they try to push the weed on niggas to keep niggas alive, you know, to keep Hollywood alive and shit. But in New York, you know, even though it's fast paced, I think New York is still more of a weed culture because we resemble old money, you know. We the start of the American empire and all that. You know, there's a certain elitism that comes from being from New York, right? You know, 26, 27-time world champions, New York Yankees. There's a certain level of elitism that we carry just being from New York. So we ain't trying to be all whacked out on drugs and shit like that, all coked out our mind and all that weird shit. You know, we'll get a little alcohol, a little weed, and, you know, be mellow, watch the scene. And, you know what I'm saying? You know, we come from a cold town. Shit could happen in the New York minute. You know, shit could happen so quick, so you kind of want to slow down the time as opposed to speed it up when you're from New York. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, every town got their different vibes. And I think that's why it's important to teach, New Orleans culture, right? And the jazz and the Creole culture, and just that laid back scene of what it is and all that. And that's why, I started this documentary, and well, I don't want to call it documentary. I don't know. This little video essay. I started this little video essay with Soulja Slim's funeral, just so you could get that big jazz feel, that big funeral sound, to what it feels like to celebrate, the departing, right? The astral landing of the human soul, because we don't die, right? We just astrally project, right? After our flesh disintegrates, right? So, we try to leave legendary stories, and we try to leave lessons and legends for the kids to follow, to make this world be more moral and more upright, right? So that we could give birth to more planets. But anyway, I'm getting off topic and shit, right? This is smoking all this goddamn weed. But let's go into the history of the Calliope, right? Before we get into the demise of Soulja Slim. So during the Calliope's early days, it was considered a means for working class families to live comfortably while saving up the funds to purchase their new home. St. Monica's Catholic Church and school were considered anchors of the neighborhood, along with local public schools such as like Booker T. Washington's High School. Along with a steady stream of outstanding musicians, the neighborhood produced educators, including the superintendent of the Orleans parish schools, and politicians who served cities and state governments. There were 690 apartments in the Calliope in the original development in 1949. A gymnasium was added at Broad and Calliope Streets. In 1954, a 12-block expansion added 860 new units. The expansion pushed the western boundary of the Calliope back 2 blocks from Laredo Street to Melpomene Street. You see all them French-ass names. Now Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. In May 1981, the Calliope was renamed to B.W. Cooper Apartments. Mr. Cooper worked for the Housing Authority of New Orleans for 33 years and served on several civil and social organizations until his death in 1974. Since the early 1980s, rival drug dealing and street gangs have operated in and around the Calliope area. This one, it started getting crazy, spawning what law enforcement community in New Orleans called a seemingly non-stop cycle of retaliatory violence, according to a New Orleans police department. The violence escalated in the late 80s, peaking in the early 1990s, after drug kingpin Sam Scully Clay was gunned down in the Calliope in 1987. The drug trade spiraled out of control, and the war over the drug trade in that area from 1993 to 2004, 88 people were killed in the Calio projects. So I'm talking about killed as in murder. 1994, Calliope was one of the bloodiest housing projects in uptown New Orleans after a rash of murders. The drug trade and subsequent murders from it were 2 primary reasons New Orleans was nicknamed the murder capital. The Calliope's murder rate was the reason why New Orleans was nicknamed the murder capital of the United States. What they had, the murder rate per 1,000, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so that's like some history of the Calliope, whatever, right? So these are these gangsters. This is where Master P from. He from this gangster side and all that. You feel me? Like, and you got to keep in mind, like, Master P, he ain't no punk. So, word on the street was that after Soulja Slim kinda, left No Limit Records or whatever to kinda form his own cutthroat committee, he formed his own record label, and Baby Gangsta BG formed his own record label, I think called Chopper City or whatever. You feel me? And when they formed their own little record labels, they got a little deal from Koch. I think Koch gave them like $250,000 or whatever to put out a little independent album, whatever. They fucked that chicken up on they fucked that up, man. You feel me? Niggas getting high fucking hoes, regular hood nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't really got like no real businessman there and all that. That's why it would have been better if they both, put their record label together. Like, I think they tried, but I think they did try to put it together, but unfortunately, it just didn't really work out. They didn't have like a Slim there, nothing like that to really, facilitate everything properly. You always need that one kind of sober, down to earth geek nigga to keep everything, moving. But Soulja Slim has some things to say about, you know, No Limit or whatever. So you know, word on the streets is, you know, when Soulja Slim was shot or whatever the case may be, some people say that that it could have had something to do with Master P. You know, Master P could have lined it. You know, then some people say that that Soulja Slim basically had money put on his head. You feel me? Like niggas put 10 bands on his head. You know, so November 26, 2003, you know, unfortunately Soulja Slim was gunned down. Right? And now, you know, his son carries on the legacy or whatever the case may be. You feel me? So, you know, look out for little Soulja Slim. Now, another like 10 years later, you know, it gets so crazy and it's so wild because, you know, when Soulja Slim got gunned down or whatever the case may be, Juvenile had just dropped Slow Motion. And that shit was #1 on the billboards. Like, so Soulja Slim was literally about to be like, he was about to really be a real worldwide name, like a household name, legendary in the hip hop community. Like this 2003, like he was really, you know what I'm saying? This is why like people like Soulja Slim and Mac Dre is so infamous, you know what I'm saying? Because this is when they was departing from us, you feel me? Like I think the moment Mac Dre passed away, was it like 2001? Let me see. 2004. So the next year after that, Mac Dre passed away, you feel me? And then after that, you feel me? Then after Mac Dre passed away, you know, we fast forward 2-3 years, and then Pimp C passed away in 2007. So, you know, all these Midwest legends is passing away, and it was a real rough time in hip hop. You feel me? It was a real rough time, and you know, and we could really speak on how a lot of this stuff started when Big Pun passed away. You know, the second month of the new year, of the new millennium. You know, so Big Pun may have been and no pun intended, but Big Pun may have been the biggest hip hop death to kick off the new millennium. You know, so when Soulja Slim passed away and all that, you know, that was unfortunate. They said, you know, either somebody put 10K on his head or it was Master P, right? But now the crazy shit is this, that 10 years later, Magnolia Shorty, right? You know, the girl whose song I played in the beginning, Magnolia Shorty, was shot 26 times on December 20th, 2010. You feel me? So now they say, some people saying like, yo, you know, they wasn't coming for her, they was coming for her boyfriend or something like that. You know, I don't really know. You feel me? Like, you know, that's how the story go. You know, they say Magnolia was not supposed to die following her death in the winter of 2010 at the tender age of 28. She was described as collateral damage by the team of assassins who inadvertently killed her in the zeal to murder her companion, Jerome Man Hampton. You know, so niggas was saying Man was the man out there in New Orleans, man. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, niggas, it's a lot going on out here, man. It's a lot going on out here. But the crazy shit is that, you know, Magnolia Shorty, around the time of her death or whatever, she was just starting to get like a lot of like hip hop fame and all that. You feel me? Like, even if I bet y'all didn't even know this, right? Drake's song, his hit record "In My Feelings," in which, you know, he had the challenge and all that with Shiggy, he sampled one of Magnolia Shorty songs for that record. So Drake went in the stash, got one of the first Cash Money hits, you know, one of the basic, like the first Cash Money hit record, and then brought it back 20-30 years later and still made another hit record. You feel me? Like that's swag, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you know, to my Zionists, you know, the Judah, the Lion, them, the 6 God, 6-point star, all that goodness. But yeah, you know, more or less, man, that's kind of gonna do it for the first part of this series and stuff like that. But you know, in the next part, we're gonna really get into it. I didn't even speak on BG as much because I want to speak on BG with Giggity. You feel me? So now, if y'all not familiar with who Giggity is Gangsta, and Gangsta is Baby's brother. Baby and Slim from Cash Money, they got a brother named Gangsta who was, you know, in the streets or whatever. He caught a fed charge, and he ended up cooperating with the police on dead murderers. So he gave the police these murders, but from people that was murdered, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's some confusing shit. He tried to do some smart shit, like to not be a rat, but now he's still labeled as a rat. But it draws a very interesting question, though. You know, is the act of testifying what makes a person a rat, or is the act of actually writing a statement make someone a rat, or actually speaking to police in any way, shape, or form makes you a rat? You know, we have to kind of ask these questions, because now, you know, ratting has been at the forefront of the hip hop conversations these days, right? You know, we've had people like Whack 100 really make ratting the focal point of hip hop. So I think it's time that we ask a lot of these questions. You know, what is ratting? You know, what is snitching? What is telling? What is the rules for these things? You understand? Because, you know, we have a person like Gangsta Giggity who's still going out and now he's saying, listen, man, y'all might think of me as a rat, but I'm still a man, and I still lay a nigga down for that shit. I know niggas that ratted that lay a nigga down. I'm you know, I'm asking some of these questions because some of these questions kind of apply to me. You feel me? I have childhood friends that gave my cousin 75 years and all that, and then, you know, you see him and it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying, you doing good, you know what I'm saying, like, you looking healthy, ice, you know what I'm saying, and then it's like, you know, do I look at you as a brother because we both black and we both got caught up in this trap, or do I look at you as a rat and say, yo, nah, man, you disrespected these street codes, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, even though I've graduated out the street game, you know, I still oblige by street codes, right? But then it's like, there's really no room for street codes in corporate America. Like, when I'm in Flint, Michigan next week, ain't no street codes out, you know what I'm saying, out there in the Comic Convention Center and all that. So should it matter that could I have a friendship with a rat, right, and still have a friendship with my friends? Probably not. You know, like, because all my friends are obliged to street codes, you know. So, which makes me pose the question to Giggity, Gangsta, Terrance, Gangsta Williams, you know, if you broke those rules, you know, maybe you should kind of tuck your tail and get out the spotlight. I understand that your brother's Birdman, but at the end of the day, you know, the program's the program, the game is the game, the rules is the rules. You feel me? None of us is bigger than the rules. Like, I had to make it within this system. You feel me? I had to give up a lot of things I would want to do and had to remain very disciplined and stuff like that, and bite the bullet many a times to keep this game alive, right? You know, to keep the honor in my family alive, to keep this Bronx thing alive, right? You know, put myself out there, put my credibility out there to make sure that this game ain't abused and used and you know, and ultimately defunct, right? Because if we don't breathe life into this shit would be dead, if that shit makes sense, right? Like, you know, if we don't make these rules mean something, if we don't make this shit, you know, stand on something or whatever the case may be, then what is it all for? You know, what did we all do this for? What did all the people before us do this for? What did all them people who took, you know, 100, 200 years and stood on 10, what did they do it for? You feel me? Should they just start going and cooperating, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is just, come on, man. You know, it's this shit is so much bigger than what it is, and I know I'm getting off into a little tangent and a rant, but you know, that's what this next episode is gonna be about. I wanted to do this one right here to kind of butter you up, whatever. But the next episode is gonna be about Gangsta, the early days of Cash Money, right? We're gonna get more into the Magnolia Shorty situation. You're gonna see why they shot her 26 times. Why, you know, Magnolia Slim got shot up all them times. We're gonna get into the No Limit Soulja. We're gonna get into the No Limit versus Cash Money beef. We're gonna get into the No Limit versus Death Row beef. Like, it was really real, because you gotta keep in mind, Master P, he's from New Orleans, but he was raised in the Bay. He was selling CDs out his trunk in the Bay in Oakland. That's in California still, you understand? So that's still Suge Knight backyard. So they was already bumping heads. You see a lot of things. See, a lot of y'all really don't understand how deep this hip hop shit go. You feel me? And I'm gonna break it down for y'all, man. I'm gonna really break it down. We gonna really get into it, man. You feel me? That's what we do here at BRP, man. You know, where truth lives, man. It's the most wise Flea Valley. I know you miss me. Shout out to everybody subscribing to the channel. I see it. I love it. You know, y'all been commenting and all that. I know when y'all miss me. When y'all start commenting mad times, you know what I'm saying, on mad other videos, I be like, all right, nigga. Y'all don't even be commenting like that. You feel me? Like, come on. But y'all pop up at lives and all that now, so I respect it. Anyway, man. 40 to the family, man. No Y to the motherfucking G's, man. See you on the next one. You, right? Part 2.